What does it take for a room full of strangers to see beyond the scars on a hero's face? Captain Elena Marquez stood at the edge of the glittering corporate gala, her dress uniform crisp, medals gleaming under the chandeliers. The scars on her cheek and neck, jagged reminders of a roadside bomb in her final deployment, drew whispers from the crowd. She felt their stares, sharp as shrapnel, as she clutched her glass of sparkling water, willing herself to stay. Tonight was supposed to honor veterans, but the air was thick with judgment, not gratitude. Elena had served 3 tours overseas, leading her unit through chaos with a steady hand and a fiercer heart. She'd saved lives, lost friends, and carried the weight of both home. The scars were her story, etched in flesh, but to the polished executives and socialites sipping champagne, they were a blemish on their perfect evening. She overheard a woman in a sequin gown murmur, "Why would they invite someone who looks like that?" A man nearby chuckled, "Guess they needed a token hero." Elena's grip tightened, but she kept her chin high. She'd faced worse than their cruelty. The gala's host, a slick CEO named Richard Langston, took the stage to applause. His speech dripped with rehearsed praise for our brave veterans, but his eyes skimmed over Elena, lingering on the unscarred faces in the room. She felt invisible, reduced to a prop for their self-congratulation. Then came the moment that nearly broke her. Langston invited a veteran to speak, but instead of Elena, he called up a young man in a pristine suit, unscathed by war, who'd never seen combat. The crowd clapped as he shared a generic story of service. Elena's heart sank. She'd been asked to prepare remarks, but they'd chosen someone who fit their image better. As the young man spoke, a woman at Elena's table leaned over, her perfume cloying. "You must feel so out of place," she said, her smile sharp. "Those scars, they're a bit much for a place like this, don't you think?" The words hit like a slap, but Elena's training kicked in. She met the woman's gaze, voice steady. "They're from saving lives. What's your excuse for being here?" The table fell silent, but the woman smirked, undeterred. "Just saying, it's a gala, not a battlefield." Elena's resolve wavered. She excused herself, slipping toward the balcony for air. The city skyline stretched before her, indifferent to her pain. She wondered why she'd come, why she'd thought these people could understand. Her fingers traced the scars on her neck, each one a memory of survival, of carrying her wounded squad to safety while her own blood soaked the sand. She wasn't ashamed of them, but tonight, she felt the weight of their judgment crushing her. Then, a commotion inside pulled her back. A young waiter, barely 20, had tripped, spilling wine across a table of executives. The room erupted in laughter, but it wasn't kind. Langston, red-faced, berated the boy, calling him useless as the crowd jeered. The waiter's hands shook, his eyes brimming with humiliation. Something in Elena snapped. She'd seen enough cruelty for one night. She strode back inside, her boots echoing on the marble floor. The crowd parted as she approached the stage, uninvited but unstoppable. She took the microphone from a stunned Langston, her voice cutting through the room like a blade. "You call this honoring veterans?" she began, her tone low but fierce. "You clap for empty words while you mock the people who've bled for you. You laugh at a kid who's trying, but you'd never survive a day in the places I've been." The room froze. Elena's scars seemed to burn under the spotlight, but she stood taller. "These scars, they're from pulling my team out of hell, from holding a dying friend while bombs fell, from choosing to live when giving up would have been easier." She turned to the waiter, still trembling. "And you, couldn't let them make you feel small. You're worth more than their laughter." Silence hung heavy, then a single clap broke it. The waiter, tears streaming, applauded. Another joined, then another, until the room roared with applause not for show, but for truth. Langston, pale, stepped forward, stammering. "Captain Marquez, we didn't know. Please, forgive us." Others echoed him, their voices thick with shame. The woman in the sequined gown approached, eyes downcast. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I didn't understand." Elena nodded, not for them, but for herself. She handed the microphone back and walked out, head high, scars unhidden. The crowd parted again, this time in awe. She didn't need their apologies. She'd carried heavier burdens and come out stronger. As she stepped into the night, the city lights felt like stars guiding her home, where her true honor lived not in their gala, but in her heart.